If your sewing or embroidery machine is too loud, or it's vibrating your table, or even vibrating the floors or moving across the table, watch this video and I'll show you several things you can do to quiet that beast. Hey folks, it's Lucy with Ballyhoo Creations. This is vlog number 4 of my machine embroidery vlog. It is the end of January 2021. I've got my hot chocolate because it's kind of cold. I even got marshmallows. Good. And I'm going to talk about vibrating and noisy machines, whether it's an embroidery machine, a sewing machine, a serger, a cover stitch, whatever kind of thing you have that stitches. Any machine that's stitching. They produce a lot of vibration and noise. And some machines are better than others, but some are really bad. And I'll give you an example of my own. When I brought this multi-needle home, I set it up on this countertop here, and it was actually over the 2 pieces of countertop. And I turned it on and started using it, and it was so loud. And I knew that these machines were going to be loud, but oh my gosh, it was vibrating the floor. Here in front, I was standing here. It was vibrating the floor so much that I felt nauseous because there was that much vibration. It was vibrating the floor, these are wood floors, all the way across the room and out into the living room where my husband was sitting, and he could feel it out there. And we were like, this is not going to go over well. So I went and researched online and found what people were saying, and I also used my own knowledge. I do have a degree in physics, don't use it anymore, but I used to have to solve a lot of page-long equations about oscillations, which are acoustics, that means sound, and vibration. And so I kind of have a good feel for what works and what doesn't work when we're dealing with sound and vibration with these machines. So what I ended up doing with the multi-needle is what a lot of people said is slow it down. And that does work. Running it at 1,000 stitches per minute, definitely a lot noisier and more vibration than 800 or 700 stitches per minute. So if you don't need that super high output, try slowing that machine down. Even on a regular embroidery machine, you can just slow it down. There's speed adjustments. So slowing it down is one thing. Oiling it regularly, because you're supposed to, no, not your regular embroidery machine or sewing machine. A lot of those don't need oil anymore. Just check your manual and see what they say. Getting them serviced regularly will make a big difference. If your machine is making a lot of weird noises, it's telling you it needs to be serviced. So that's what you got to do about that. Sorry, it's going to cost some money. On a multi-needle, you're supposed to oil those regularly, like every day. Just a little drop of oil on the bobbin. And then, you know, there's other videos out there telling you how to oil the machines. But the oil really does make a difference too. Servicing your machines, keeping them in good health makes a difference on how noisy they are. But some other things that were less obvious. Leveling your machine. Now, your regular sewing machine or serger, those are small and compact, so you don't really have to do much to level those. And I will show you a trick, though. If you do have a leveling issue, I'll show you a trick. And it's actually involving a thick piece of foam. You can buy an anti-vibration mat for a sewing machine. All it is this thick craft foam. And actually, if you go to the craft store, you can find different colors of this. You don't want the thin sheets of craft foam. You want the really thick. Get the thickest one they have. This one's about 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. And put that under your machine, and it will get a lot quieter and not slide across the table. But back to the multi-needle, let me show you what I had to do with that one. I'll get up close to it. So one of the things that I've done with the multi-needle is I purchased these cups, these vibration cups that go under all 4 of the feet. And it's a rubber pad down here, and then this is just a hard plastic. And then the machine's rubber feet sit inside of that. These help a lot. And then what I've also done is underneath, because of the way that my system is set up, I got a countertop here, and then these are the metal bins from the Container Store. They're very sturdy, but with this countertop vibrating on top of the metal rack, that was contributing to the vibration and noise. So I've got these anti-fatigue mats underneath here, you can see. And those are just underneath the countertop around all of the metal supports. And those are just these cheapo anti-fatigue mats that you buy at the home improvement store or on Amazon. And they're 2 foot square, and about 6 of them runs, I think, around $25. I'll link to those in the description box too. And to level your feet, you want to get some kind of level. And I just put it on the needle plate. And make sure that the bubble is in the center, both vertical and horizontal bubbles. You could also use a level and lay it across, or whatever you want to do. You just want to make sure that the legs here and here, and your needle plate, you want to make sure that's level here. laying it across the arm is not really going to help you as much because that's not sturdy. So I just got this little, this actually came with the rubber feet. So I'll link to that in the description box, but this came with this. So on a regular embroidery machine, like this one, I'm going to lift this up carefully, and we'll look at the bottom here. You've got rubber feet here. You want to make sure that those are clean, that there's nothing stuck underneath there. And you can just make sure that they're not hard. Make sure that they're nice and soft. That'll be good shape. And if you still have problems with the rubber feet, all being in good shape, maybe one of them's missing. That happens sometimes. You can also put one of the anti-fatigue mats underneath your regular machine. You can buy a special mat that is made for that. Or another thing you can do is use like a shelf liner, this kind of grippy, foamy shelf liner stuff, and you can just lay that underneath your machine. Put your machine on top of one of these, and this will help with the noise and vibration a little bit, and it'll also keep your machine from scooting around on the table. Okay, so far we've talked about oil your machine, keep it in good repair, make sure it's level, use a mat or something underneath it, or anti-vibration cups under the feet. All of those things are good ideas. Also, slow your machine down is another option. Serger, for example, I mean, sergers run full speed ahead, so those tend to vibrate a lot more. And for those, the mat will help. And another thing that I haven't mentioned yet is I showed you how I put the anti-fatigue mat underneath the countertop, but you can also put one under your table legs, or instead of using like a whole big mat, just take some kind of foam or anti-fatigue mat or something like that and just cut a square of it or a circle or something to go underneath your table leg and use that underneath. Because if it's the table that's not level, like maybe one leg's a little bit shorter than the other, and your sewing machine is on that whole table is vibrating, and then that's going to vibrate and transfer down into your flooring. So mats is another thing. Find some place to put a mat, whether it's underneath the machine, underneath the countertop, underneath the table legs, underneath the stand that you bought to put your machine on, whatever it is you're doing. Find some way to put either an anti-vibration cup or cut out a piece of mat or something like that. All of those things will help quite a bit. I think that is everything I had on the vibration and the sound. Hopefully you'll try some of those things and see if they work. If you have other ideas, let me know. Leave a comment down below. And now I'll just get to the vlog part where I talk about what I've been doing for the past week, because this is sort of my record keeping here. And this week I finally got the large cloth characters put in the shop. So now we have, and this is a Cupid doll. So now there's the small, that you need at least a 5x7 hoop for this size. And then there's a medium. This is the medium. This is the 8x12 hoop, 5x7 for the small, and 6x10 for the medium. So each different hoop size has a different size doll that you can make. And then I've also added some wings. These are some Cupid wings that are also available as an add-on to the cloth characters. And of course, you buy the body, and then there's different faces and heads that you can put on them, and they're mix and match. This one doesn't have clothes or anything. It's just got some little felt flowers and mohair glued on here. This is just an example of what you can do with the cloth characters. There's all kinds of, you customize them however you want. I provide the digital pattern for you that you make on your embroidery machine, and then it's up to you to do all the doll making, whether you stuff them or put armature wire. I like to put armature wire in all line because they're almost like stop motion puppets, and they're not dolls. They're stop motion puppets, but I'm calling them cloth characters. So I've been doing that. And then a lot of website updates are coming for ballyhoocreations.com. And this is something I'll just mention if you're going into business, whether it's embroidery, sewing, whatever it is you do, when you make your hobby your business, it's time to find another hobby, because the hobby really does become work. And that applies to all the things you have to do. Like you have to get, whether you're putting stuff on Etsy and then you have to figure out all the rules of Etsy, or you get your own website. Now you have to figure out, well, how do you do that? And I do my own websites. I've been doing that for many years, but there's still a lot of time involved in designing and updating and finding the right plugins to put in there. And it seems like, well, I'll go spend 10 minutes and install this and it'll be all good and done. And I've spent a month working on this. So it's just one of those things that just sucks all your time away. And I haven't had time to really do the designing and embroidery and digitizing because it's all being spent on updating a website or, testing out a new machine, or it's always something coming at you. And pretty soon it's going to be tax time and I got to go dig out all the receipts and do all that stuff. And not looking forward to it. So not to discourage you from having your own business, because it is a wonderful thing to do. Just be prepared of all of the extra hats that you have to wear as a business owner, whether it's accounting or taxes or legal, like intellectual property. And what do you do to protect yourself and your own trademarks? And January's almost over. February's on its way. I have a lot of designs to work on in February to add to the website. So hopefully I can get back to embroidery and making dolls and having fun and doing the fun stuff and not all the work stuff. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I will be back next week, trying to do one of these every week. And I'll be talking about machine embroidery and more stuff like that. Have a good one.